Job was a very good man. He lived in a place called Uz. He loved God more than anything. He always tried to do what was right. God was very pleased with Job. Job had a big, loving family. He had 7 sons. He had 3 daughters. He was also very rich with many animals. His life was full of happiness. One day, angels came before God. Satan, the accuser, was there too. God said, "Have you seen Job? There is no one like him on earth. He is good and hates evil." Satan answered God's question. He said, "Job loves you only because you bless him so much. Take away his good things, then he will surely curse you." God allowed Satan to test Job, but God said, "Do not harm Job himself." Soon, terrible things began to happen. First, robbers came very quickly. They stole Job's oxen and donkeys. They also killed his farm workers. Then, a fire came from the sky. It burned up all of Job's sheep. More of his workers died in that fire. Job lost so much in such a short time. The bad news did not stop there. It got even worse for poor Job. Another group of robbers came. They stole all of Job's camels, and they killed more of his servants. Then, the worst news of all arrived. A strong wind hit the house. His children were eating inside. The house fell down on them. All 10 of Job's children died. When Job heard all this terrible news, his heart was completely broken. He stood up and tore his robe. This was a sign of great sadness. He also shaved his head. Then he fell down on the ground. He was in so much pain. He had lost his wealth. He had lost his dear children. His world felt empty and dark. But even in his deepest sorrow, Job did something truly amazing. He did not sin by blaming God. Instead, he bowed down and worshipped. He said, "I was born with nothing. I will leave this world with nothing. The Lord gave me what I had. The Lord has taken it away. May the name of the Lord be praised." Job's faith stayed strong. Satan saw Job still trusted God. So Satan went back to God. He said, "Let me hurt his body. If he is in pain himself, he will curse you to your face." God allowed Satan to test Job again. "You can make him sick," God said, "but you must not take his life." So Satan struck Job with painful sores. They covered him from his head to his feet. Job sat in ashes in terrible pain. He used a piece of broken pottery to scrape his itching sores. His suffering was very great. His wife saw him in this state. She was also heartbroken and tired. She said to Job, "Are you still faithful? Curse God and give up." But Job replied to her gently, "You speak like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good from God and not accept trouble too?" Job did not sin with his words. Job had 3 close friends. Their names were Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. They heard about all the bad things, all the troubles that Job faced. They decided to go and visit him. They wanted to comfort him. They wanted to show their sympathy. But when they saw Job, they were completely shocked. He looked so different, so broken by pain. For 7 days and 7 nights, Job's friends sat with him on the ground. They did not say a single word. They saw that his suffering was too great. Words seemed too small for such pain. Then Job was the first to speak. He began to cry out his sorrow. He cursed the day he was born. He wished he had never lived. He wondered why this was happening to him. Then Job's friends started to talk. They tried to explain his suffering. They thought Job suffered so much because he must have done wrong. "God is fair," Eliphaz said. "He punishes people who sin. You must have sinned, Job. You should repent and ask for forgiveness." Bildad and Zophar agreed with him. Their words did not comfort Job. Job listened to his friends speak. But he knew in his heart that he had lived a good life. He told them, "I have not sinned in a way that deserves all this." He argued with his friends. He felt his pain was not fair. He asked God many hard questions. "Why is this happening to me, God?" But even in his confusion and pain, Job held on to a thread of hope. He said, "I know that my Redeemer lives." After Job and his friends had spoken, God himself answered Job. God spoke from a powerful storm, a whirlwind. God did not directly explain why Job suffered. Instead, God asked Job many questions. "Where were you, Job, when I made the earth? Can you command the morning to begin? Do you know where the snow is stored? Can you understand the stars above?" God showed Job his great wisdom and power. Job listened carefully to God's words. He felt very small and humble. He realized God's ways are much bigger than human understanding can grasp. Job said to God, "I am not worthy. I spoke of things I did not know, things too wonderful for me. Before I had only heard about you, but now, my own eyes have seen you." Job put his full trust in God. Then God spoke to Job's 3 friends. God was not happy with them. He said, "You have not spoken the truth about me, as Job has." God told them to bring animals for a sacrifice, and he told them that Job would pray for them, and God would listen. Job did what God asked. He prayed for his friends. This showed his forgiving heart. After Job prayed for his friends, the Lord restored Job's good fortune. God gave him twice as much as he had before all the trouble. He received thousands of sheep and camels. He also got many oxen and donkeys. God blessed him with a new family too. He had 7 new sons, and 3 new beautiful daughters. Job lived for 140 more years. He saw his children's children for many generations. Job's story teaches us about faith. It shows us how to trust God, even when life is very, very hard. Faith can be tested, but it can also be restored.